Trying to let go will not work for most people. Try this instead. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Mind Engineer Community. Here, Tommy Walker, your host, offering insight and tools to start helping you be able to make changes in your life by understanding how the mind works. A lot of people out there try to talk about the mind as if it's this complex, very complex computer, very difficult to understand. And it's not so difficult when you really understand what's going on. So, the topic that I want to talk today is about being able to let go without forcing yourself to let go. Because what I've seen is a lot of people out there that are struggling with letting go something from the past, maybe a past relationship, maybe work, maybe, family things that, something happened and they seem that they cannot let go. And although they tried forcing themselves to let go, they're not being able to. So if this resonates with you, that you've been trying to let go something and you haven't been able to, please type the word let go down here, right? If you've been forcing yourself to try to let go something and it hasn't been working. So if it hasn't been working, what I always say is if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to get the same results. If nothing changes, nothing changes. So if you want to see a change in your life, you need to start trying something different. So when you're trying to let go of something without understanding why you're holding on to that, normally what's going to happen is, and this most people out there talk about this, what you resist persists. So if you're trying to let go, you're trying to force yourself to let go something, what you're trying to do is resisting to something. And instead of getting rid of it, you're holding on harder. And the best example that I always give, and bear with me for a second, is this. If I slap my kid to teach him that it's not okay to be hitting his brother or hitting other kids, what am I really teaching him? So again, if I'm slapping my kid when he does something, when he hits somebody, to try to teach him not to do that to others, I'm just reinforcing the behavior. So what most people are doing is trying to control the control. Think about that for a second. When you're trying to let go, you are trying to control when you let go. So you are controlling the controller, trying to get the controller to stop controlling, but you're trying to control the controller. So at the end, you're giving it more power, guys. When you're trying to control the controller, you are teaching it the same thing that you're trying to change. So instead of trying to let go, forcing yourself to let go, trying to convince yourself to let go, I want to invite you to try something totally different. And I've been studying the mind for 16 years, and I have worked with thousands of people around the world. People that were not being able to let go an old partner, maybe not letting go old work, letting go of friendship, letting go their mom, letting go their dad, whatever. They were holding on to something that they were trying to let go and they were not being able to. So I want to share a very different way, right? But we need to bring some understanding. So when a part of me, because why do I say a part of me? Because if you're saying, I want to let go, a part of you wants to let go, but a part of you doesn't want to let go. That's why it keeps holding on. So a part of me is trying to control to let go. Another part of me is not letting go. So the idea is to first separate the different parts within us. Could be a part of me is angry, a part of me is scared, a part of me is trying to do this, a part of me is not doing this, or whatever. So a part of me is not letting go. So instead of fighting it, that you're going to create more of what you're trying to get rid of, the idea is to start understanding, loving, and accepting what is. And I'm not saying this is easy, guys, at all. But if I really want to change something, I need to first start loving and accepting what is. There is a part of me that is holding on to something. Instead of trying to beating up that part of me to let go, I want to start exploring, learning why that part of me is holding on in the first place. So imagine some time ago, I was working with a woman that a family member had passed away and she wasn't able to let go. And she was trying to force herself to let go, but it wasn't working. So, what I started teaching her is how to love and accept the part of her that was not letting go. And what we started doing is I started exploring with her together in what did this person mean to you? So she made a list of the things that this person meant to them in a good way, in a positive way. So in this case, this person, help her, feel confident, help her feel respected, help her feel whatever, right? So as she started tapping into what the other person represented, she was able to understand why she was not letting go a little bit. And now we're going to go a little bit deeper. So listen to this. The next question that I ask after she finished that list is, are you giving yourself these things? And she was like, no, no way. So, of course, that part of her is going to hold on to this person that passed away because that person represented to them all these things that they felt they didn't have, they didn't give to themselves, and they were wanting the other person to give to them, whether it is a partner, whether it is a job, whether it is a friend. And it could be that they walked away from your life. It doesn't mean that they passed away. In this case, it was a woman that had passed away. So when she started understanding deeper what this person represented, that she wasn't giving herself what this person represented, of course she was going to hold on. So what she was telling herself indirectly is, I don't care if you don't feel confident. I don't care if you don't feel loved. I don't care if you don't feel respected. I don't give a shit how you feel. You need to let go this person. But the mind, that part of us, that person represented all these positive things, the mind doesn't want to let it go because it feels that it's never going to find it again elsewhere. And I work with a lot of people that have had breakups and they were not being able to let go their old partners because of this. They were scared that they were not going to find those qualities, those things in other people. So as this person understood, the people that I work with started understanding what this person represented, that they were holding on because they were scared of not getting these things back into their life again. And we started working on how to give it to themselves. The byproduct, and listen to this, guys, the byproduct of that ended up letting go as the byproduct. When you focus on letting go, you're telling yourself that there's something wrong with you because you should let go. I need to let go, and I'm not letting go. So what you're doing indirectly is you're telling yourself that there's something wrong with you. And when you're telling yourself that there's something wrong with you, that part of you feels rejected. As it feels rejected, going to hold on even tighter. Because remember what I was telling you at the beginning, when this person realized that this loved one that had passed away was giving them love, respect, care, support, understanding, as they were beating themselves up for not letting go, they were giving themselves the opposite of these things. So as they were beating themselves up for not letting go, they were doing the opposite of what this person was giving them in their life: understanding, support, love, respect. They were beating themselves up. Beating yourself up for not letting go is disrespectful, is not loving, is not understanding, is not supporting. So you see that you're going to hold on more to the other person that represents exactly what you're needing. So when we start understanding these dynamics, and it's so basic, now we can start working on what we're needing to replace what the other person was giving us, so we don't need the other person anymore. And we can let go as the result of the inner work. Most people try to let go, try to stop controlling, try to overcome procrastination, whatever, by controlling themselves, by disrespecting themselves, by beating themselves up because they're doing different behaviors: procrastination, self-sabotage, perfectionism, whatever. They're beating themselves up. As they're beating themselves up, what they're creating is more of what they don't want. No wonders so many people have tried so many tools, so many personal development courses, groups, programs, whatever, and they're still struggling because at the end they're trying to control, and control comes from ego. As control comes from ego, you're not going to let go, because the let go means connecting with your self love, with your self respect, with your self understanding, with your self support, giving yourself what you're not giving yourself. The problem is many times we haven't been taught how to do those things. We were taught how to give to others, but we were never taught how to give to ourselves. And as we haven't learned that, of course, you're not going to let go. Instead of keep fighting yourself to let go, I want to invite you to start loving and accepting yourself that you're not letting go. Because that part of you of not letting go is trying to protect you from something deeper. As you work on those things, on loving and accepting what is, understanding what's going on, what does this situation person, maybe you're finding it hard to let go a house, maybe you're finding it hard to let go a car, whatever, something that you bought and then suddenly you had to sell, whatever, right? The letting go is not the focus we need to put on, is what does that thing, person, situation represents to us. Write it down, all the things that that represents to you. Then check if you're giving it to yourself, where you are not giving it to yourself, and start trying to learn how to start giving it to yourself. Because when you start learning how to give it to yourself, suddenly you're not going to need that person, that situation, that thing that you thought you needed in the first place. And that's how we start dissolving behaviors. Most people focus on changing behaviors. Changing a behavior like, oh, I need to let go. Again, you're judging the part of you that is holding on. So that part of you that feels judged, feels rejected, misunderstood, not loved, not respected, and so many other things. So what is it going to do? It's going to hold on harder, tighter to the thing that you're trying to let go. So what most people are doing intuitively shows that they're disconnected with their intuition. Think about that for a second. What most people think that they're doing intuitively, trying to beat themselves up to let go, try to beat themselves up to change something, what they're actually doing is forcing themselves to do more of what they don't want. So we need to really connect with our intuition inside of us to realize that what we're doing is not okay. Realizing that, wait, I'm beating myself up for letting go someone or something that brought something into my life. So no, it's okay that you're not letting go. Instead of fighting, love and accept, understand. Love, accept, explore, and understand. And as you do that, I promise you, you're going to be able to start, if you truly connect with love and acceptance, you're going to be able to start dissolving any type of behavior. It might not happen overnight, guys. This is important to understand. Many times the reprogramming of the mind that you've been doing for 20, 30, 50, 60 years might not change overnight because you've been doing this most of your life. But it's the same thing as I tell people, if you keep going to the gym, eventually you're going to see changes in your body. If you keep doing this work, eventually you're going to see changes in your mind. And yesterday I was reading a book about emotional intelligence. I love what the guy was saying, that he was saying that this is something that we need to keep training for the rest of our life. If we stop training emotional intelligence, these type of exercises, the mind starts becoming atrophied, like the same way as a muscle that I don't use. Imagine that I went to the gym for a year, 2 years, and I look great, my muscles and everything, and then suddenly I stop going to the gym. What's going to happen? My muscles are going to start disappearing. The same happens with emotional intelligence in the mind. If we don't practice it, it starts becoming obsolete. So it's not obsolete, but it's like we lose touch with that and we need to keep practicing it. So it's a constant thing that I've been doing for the past 16 years, and I'm going to keep doing for the next decades till I die. Because I've seen the changes it has brought in my life, the changes of behavior that I had that I never thought I was going to be able to change, was able to get rid of many things through this inner work. But it takes work, it takes practice, it takes practicing this love and acceptance, understanding, exploring to see what is really going on. When you go into your mind with judgment, criticism through ego, you're just closing the mind. If you want to open the mind, you got to come from love and acceptance, meaning to love and accept what is, whatever that is, what is. So I hope that makes sense. Let me know in the comments and I'll read you later. What do you think about this? If you practiced this before, or are you the typical person that goes into a war with your mind to try to make changes? Let me know in the comments and I'll read you later. Thank you very much. And I hope this benefits you in the way to be able to start